Good evening, welcome to the Thursday, November 19th, 2015 meeting of the Auburn Zoning Board of Appeals. Before I get started this evening, we have a reorganization we need to accomplish. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
Motion to open the meeting?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, for reorganizational purposes, do I have a motion to open nominations for chair?
Yes, motion to open the nominations and the motion to nominate the current chair, Robert Tatro.
I would make a second for Robert Tatro as
Okay.
chair.
Do I have any other nominations for chair? Can I make a motion to close the nominations for chair?
Motion to close?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do I have a motion to open the nominations for vice chairman?
Motion to open for nominations to vice chairman.
It's all a formality that has to be.
Yes.
And do I have a nomination?
I nominate Michael Marin.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, I have to, actually, do I have any other nominations for vice chair? Excuse me, I apologize.
Motion to close the nominations.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so as it stands, I think everything will remain the same.
Okay.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. So do I have a motion to open our 7 PM hearing?
Motion to open a hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so our second 7 PM applicant, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Ilya M. Schneider of Lux Auto, requesting a special permit under section 7.8 waivers and section 9.3 special permits of the Auburn zoning bylaws for the increase in allowable size of a secondary sign on property located at 525 Washington Street, Auburn, Mass., map 56, parcel 2. And before I have you approach, sir, I have to ask, is anybody recording the meeting this evening?
No.
Okay, hearing none, seeing none, thank you. Could you approach the lectern, please, sir, introduce yourself, and give us a brief overview of what you'd like to accomplish?
Certainly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ilya Schneider. I'm the president of Global Ventures Group, Inc., DBA Lux Auto Plus. We're headquartered at 525 Washington Street in Auburn, which was the old Lundgren Honda next to the Volkswagen dealership. What we are asking for is the building is fairly sizable in size, roughly 28,000 square feet. We did abide by the rules and regulations of the city as far as a sign for the front of the property. The sign for the side, the town regulations only allow 6 square feet, which would be very, very small. We did have a approximately 20 square foot sign, which is still fairly small in size considering the scope of the building, but we did have one at our previous location in Newton, Massachusetts. Bob from Bob Signs had removed that sign for us. We're holding it in storage, and we were hoping to have that sign placed on the side of the building. The primary entrance to the property is actually on the side. There is an entrance from the front, but the vast majority of customers tend to pull in on the side. That's where the service department is located. That's where a lot of the customer parking is. Plus, it provides us with great frontage because as you're driving up Route 20, you can see the sign as you're driving up, and it would provide us with great visibility. There's no residential people on that side. The adjacent is the Volkswagen dealership. We're just hoping for a slightly larger sign so it wouldn't be lost in the scope of the property, etc. Mr. Moody was required by town bylaws to decline the permit that we sought, and indicated in his letter that we had to seek an appeal from the ZBA, which is why we're here.
Mr. Chairman, before you open the hearing for questioning, the petition as it's come to us is for a special permit.
Correct.
The petition as filled out was for a variance.
Okay, that's a good point. I'd like to refer to Mr. Moody for clarification, sir, if we could. I believe it falls under, if we're looking at 7.8 waivers.
Yeah, correct. Special permit would be required to waive any.
So I agree, it would not be a variance.
No,
Right,
it'd be a
special permit.
special permit.
So I guess I would say that any action taken would have included in it the wording to amend this that we have to be a special permit versus a variance? As it was filled out?
Correct. So we can include that in the decision as well, that we took
Correct.
note of the error and made mention in the meeting. Mm-hmm. That here.
Okay.
Thank you for that observation, Mr. Chacolo, I appreciate it. Okay, so I'd like to open it up for members of the board. Mr. Cussy, do you have any questions, sir?
No, I don't. I'm actually, I'm good with it. It's not facing Route 20, the front of the building, being on the side where it is. I'm okay with it.
Mr. Chacolo?
Yes, do you have a picture of this sign?
We do, sir. I brought enough pictures for everybody. If I can approach the members or pass the folder
Yes,
along.
please, sir.
Yes.
Good, how are you?
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm handing out two pieces of paper. The first one is what the sign would actually look like. It's similar to a sign that we have. And the second one in beige is basically a picture of the actual location where we're proposing it. You will see a little bit of a butt out with what appears to be a wire sticking out, which is where we are proposing to place the sign.
Thank you. Also, Mr. Chairman, having visited the property today, if you look at the property and the way that the cars are parked in the front, those cars being pulled out, pulled in, backed out for test drives or anything, having the main entrance on the side with proper identification, such as this, I think would be a plus for safety, as people would not be coming and going right into a traffic pattern. So I think it would be a plus putting it there. And it is, the nature of it is such that it has to be big enough to be able to be seen so people can identify that as an entrance. I might have a suggestion that on that front second means of egress that you have, that you maybe on the window part of it, say, have something there that says main entrance around the corner or something like that, so that people would be directed that way, because there is a pretty wide sidewalk that they'd be able to walk around. And that way, they would use it in any future trips and so forth.
Sure. And again, the goal is obviously to steer people towards the service department, which is certainly on the side that we're referring to. The front entrance there is partially for secondary means of egress, et cetera. We found that most people tend to gravitate to the side anyways, and with the proper signage, I agree 100% with Mr. Socolo that that would certainly become the primary entrance.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Maron?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of questions for point of clarification. So for the special permit, and I may refer to this, Mr. Moody, the special permit is looking to grant 20 and a quarter versus the six square, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so the 6 square in our current bylaws for a secondary,
Is allowed by right, so they would need the special permit to increase the
okay,
allowable
to grant for size. Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Schneider, sir, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing that.
Not at all.
The photos that you had passed out, and so I thought I was quite clear on the packet. So is it, if I could just hold up, is it this sign that you're going to be erecting that you passed out this evening, or is it this sign?
It's that sign. That, what I passed out this evening, is basically a plexiglass cutout as opposed to the one that's actually going to go up there, which is a backlit, I'm not sure what the proper terminology for it. Channel letter sign. That was more of a picture of what it would look like as opposed to that. But what was actually filed with the application by Bob of Bob's Signs is what the actual sign would be. I just didn't have that physically present. It's stored upstairs.
Yeah,
so.
no worries, understood. So, but this is actually the sign?
Yes, it
This
is.
is what we're discussing, this depiction right here?
Yes.
And this is 20 and a quarter.
Yes,
Will it be illuminated in any way?
yes, it will.
You had mentioned, so letters illuminated, or is there a light shining down on it?
The letters would be illuminated
The
themselves.
letters on the back would be illuminated. All right, I also, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I also agree, depending on how the board votes, to add a suggestion, not a condition per se, but a suggestion that leans that entrance in the front, to just identify that around the corner is your primary, because what you're trying to accomplish. Is there going to be an awning that's constructed there as well?
We've been discussing it. We are definitely putting an awning over over the entrance into the service department and kind of the drive-through into the service department. And we're working with the contractors right now, once they've developed that, to see if they can do something that would harmoniously match with it. Because we spent a lot of money redoing the fascia of the building to make it look nice and presentable and modern, as opposed to what it had been. So the goal is to obviously enhance the exterior fascia as opposed to detract from it. So we are working on looking at options for that.
And thanks for entertaining that question. It wasn't by means of a condition of decision by any, just out of curiosity on what the final representation was going to look like, whether it would have an awning or not. One final question, just on the lighting, the illumination behind the letters. Is that going to be illuminated 24 hours or just during business hours?
I believe the way it's set up currently is it turns on, it's on a photo eye. So basically when it gets dark, they turn on. When it gets light, they turn off, because I don't see the practicality of wasting electricity, having it light all day. You really can't, they're not bright letters so that they look beautiful at night, but during the day I think it would be a waste of money and resources.
Okay. Well, thanks for for answering that question as well. Mr. Chairman, I don't have any further questions. I would just make the comment that the applicant had offered earlier that this signage in driving, geez, I have my directions that I want to say towards, from the other dealership towards this. So if you're coming west, thank you. If you're coming west, I was looking for that in my mind and I couldn't settle on it. Coming west, I think this would be a nice addition to offer additional signage and advertising for this business as well, coming in that direction based on what they're working with on the lot, how that building is constructed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Blaze?
I have no questions.
Ms. Roach?
No, mine were all about the lights and they were answered, so
Okay.
I'm good.
I just would like to comment that I've noticed that the additional picture that you provided, it appears as though that the building at one time from the previous occupant probably had a sign there anyway, since the wire is hanging out. And there is obviously some type of mounting placard there already. So, do we have any further questions? Would you like to add anything else, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So I have a motion on the floor for the, I apologize, are there any abutters present? Thank you again. We have no abutters present.
Figured no, but
That's okay, formality. Do I have a motion on the proposal?
Motion to grant the special permit as referenced by the petitioner for 20 and 1/4 square feet versus the 6 square feet. Relief from that, and to grant the special permit for that 20 and 1/4. In the wording, again, we will need to specify this is a special permit versus the variance.
Yes. I actually did put a note specifically on the application, and in the decision I have the right, it's either going to be a special permit or variance regardless, so.
Okay, and that would be my motion, to
Okay.
grant.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The one thing I would like to ask before we finalize the permit here is, you did mention that it would be, basically that light would be on, you said it's photovoltaic, so it would be on 24 hours a day? Because, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's basically, it turns on at night, so when it gets dark, the photo eye recognizes that it's dark outside, it comes on. When it gets light, it shuts itself off. So during the summertime, it goes on sometime around between 8 and 9 p.m. and comes off around 6 o'clock in the morning. During the wintertime, probably 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, it comes on.
Okay, I apologize. I should have phrased my question more carefully. Normally, we do not allow lighting, I believe, after business hours. Is that correct, in this particular area? I just want to clarify with the members of the board. Do we allow that in other businesses?
I mean, yeah, in this particular instance, I think with the area that it's in, I don't have a problem with
Okay.
it. I think there's the streetlights that are on 290 anyway. I think it's not really big enough that it would, certainly the light wouldn't impede drivers or anything.
I agree with that.
I don't think I have a problem with the time restriction. I mean, if anybody else does, jump in.
I just wanted to make sure that we were being consistent with the other applicants that we've approved, that's all.
Yeah, I think in that area, I think it's okay for it to be on at night.
I would agree.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that, you know, it's directional to the side of the building, and towards another business. It's not directional towards the traffic directly. Indirectly, coming west, thank you, Mr. Colo. Coming west, you know, it'll be, but I also think that that's a benefit for the business itself, that it'll be illuminated from westbound traffic, but I don't think that it'll impede. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Okay. So we have Mr. Chacolo made a motion to approve the 20.25 square feet. Ms. Roche seconded. Do I have a vote on it from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Congratulations, sir. Good luck.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, we'll let them just clear out for a minute. So, I'm sure you're all aware from reading your, although small packet, albeit this month, that they have moved forward, the appointing authority and the Board of Selectmen have moved forward. They are going to have a master plan committee and also a zoning bylaw review committee. And they are seeking a delegate for each of those. The way I understand it is that they are actually requesting somebody specifically from the zoning board on each review committee. So if anybody has a nomination or is interested in that,
Mr. Chairman, I would be interested in the bylaw review committee.
okay?
And just for a point of clarification, if I may, so they're asking for one delegate from the board?
As I had read and understood, it's going to be one delegate from the zoning board on each review committee. I think it might behoove us to actually probably appoint an alternate in the event we can't consistently make each meeting. So, because I know we've all discussed what's going on with the zoning laws that we think is up for review. So I thought maybe we would appoint the primary and an alternate just as a safety measure.
I would agree with that strategy.
That would be like an off-the-record alternate, essentially.
Yes,
If they-
it
yeah.
certainly would be. Yeah, I agree. It would be an off-the-record alternate, but I think it would be wise just to have somebody in backup in case we need it. And also as a consultant in the fact that the zoning review committee decides they might need additional input, and it's gonna have public hearings, but we can come and just, you know.
Through the chair, if I may?
Yes, please.
I don't believe they're limiting you to one.
Oh,
If there's-
okay.
If there's more than one person interested, I believe they accept more than one applicant.
Okay. Well, that's good to know, because the way I read it, I thought it said one per, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I talked to the town planner earlier today, and he said by all means, if more than one person interested, then
Okay. So, let's start with the master plan committee. Do I have anybody that's interested in volunteering to be on that board?
Can you tell me what that is?
So, I think actually I'd like to defer to Mr. Moody to explain the master plan so he can be a
Yeah,
little more
I'm
thorough.
not sure.
Thank you for asking the question.
the town planner's definition is the master plan committee will oversee the community goals and vision project as well as the process of updating the town of Auburn master plan. Citizens serving on the committee should have an interest in issues related to the growth, development, and preservation of the town.
I like it.
Does that clarify it?
I'd be interested in that.
Okay.
I'm interested in the growth, community, the town.
Anyone else?
How often do they meet?
Another good question.
Another good question. So what I did also read, now, if I'm wrong, Caleb, please help me out. They anticipate this taking 2 years, most likely. I don't see the zoning bylaw taking that much time, but again, that's what they're anticipating. I think the last committee met, what, maybe once a month? Is that about right? Once every 2 weeks?
Yeah, the way the town planner explained it is that's something that would be decided by the committee members once it was
Okay.
formed, whether they met once a month or twice a month.
Right,
But when they did the general bylaws, I believe it was a 3-year time period.
right. And do they meet monthly, bi-monthly?
I think it was monthly.
Right, okay. That gives them time to research the different, because also, you know, some of this is gonna be research into what other towns are doing surrounding. Also, especially like we're talking about with all the signs and different things we do, we wanna make sure we're consistent throughout. So we may only focus on one bylaw per month, and that might require to do a little homework, do some research, and then meet again, so. So you get an idea of what it will take and how long it will be. Okay, anybody else for the master plan committee? Hearing none, seeing none? Okay, zoning bylaw review committee, I have Mr. Maron. Anyone else? I actually expressed some interest in that. So, as it stands now, so I would like to nominate Ms. Roach for the master plan review committee. Do I have a second?
Second?
All
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to nominate Mr. Maron for the zoning bylaw review committee. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I can't nominate myself.
Well,
so-
I'll nominate you for the
As an alternate.
zoning bylaw review committee.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So now on to other business, we have the minutes from, I know we are, actually have already done this, but it's still down here. So we have the minutes from May until December because we had some inconsistencies with people taking the minutes of the meeting, get them documented. You know, we had some personnel changes on the board. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of those meetings?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any other new business? Do I have a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close the hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.